Tonight, state and federal Labor crack down on the CFMEU after new evidence adds to widespread claims of corruption. Remembering those lost in the MH7 tragedy 10 years on. The man accused of killing 2 Australians in the Philippines hands himself into police. And True Blues, New South Wales triumphs in a low-scoring Origin decider, marred by a half-time melee. This is ABC Late News. Hello, I'm Craig Smart. An independent administrator will be appointed to overhaul the embattled CFMEU amid allegations it's been infiltrated by underworld figures. The federal government has vowed to pass legislation to clean up the organisation if the union opposes the move.
Claims of underworld infiltration, kickbacks and intimidation.
Boards, different breads and even different toasters.
Press it down, bud.
Rebecca and her 11-year-old son Alex have to follow a strict gluten-free diet for medical reasons.
This is for my health, and if I don't eat gluten-free, I can get really, really sick.
But it's become a treatment the family is struggling to afford.
Everything's getting more expensive, the price of food has gone up, wages haven't gone up, so that's a bit harder.
Let's make a snack.
It's a similar story for Karen, who often has to work 7 days a week to afford gluten-free food for her and her 6-year-old daughter.
I could easily get away with 150, 200 for a food shop for a week. Now it will be easily up to the 400.
And given they have no other choice, she doesn't think it's fair.
It's actually depressing going to the shops. Things that are gluten will be in a large quantity for cheaper, and things that are gluten-free will be more expensive and in a smaller quantity.
In 2016, an Australian study revealed a basket of gluten-free staple foods cost up to 17% more than the regular versions. A recent comparison of the same foods found that while some have become cheaper, most items are still up to 500% more expensive.
So that's going to hit the hip pocket of every person, regardless of their income level.
With 1 in 70 Australians being diagnosed with celiac disease, health experts are suggesting a national program to subsidise the cost of gluten-free foods.
People can still continue to have their staple foods, not miss out on micronutrients and fibre, and continue to remain healthy.
The government hasn't said whether it would consider subsidies, but these families remain hopeful that help will come. Tabarak Al-Jarood.
Yes, we did good.
ABC News.
Scammers are increasingly targeting real estate sales by breaking into email accounts or impersonating email addresses of businesses. While these kinds of scams are on the rise, the amount Australians are losing overall to scams has fallen.
After years of helping people with their finances, Lily has now become a victim of fraud. That's a small drop compared to the year before. The amount they lost was $330 million. That's a 41% fall compared to the previous 12 months.
We are cautiously optimistic that the data sharing and the awareness raising that we are doing through the National Anti-Scam Centre is beginning to have an impact.
But not soon enough for victims like Lily. David Chow, ABC News.
New South Wales has conquered Queensland on their own turf in the NRL State of Origin decider, 14 points to 4 to capture this year's series. The two sides were locked in a tight, low-scoring contest throughout, at one stage erupting into an all-out brawl of two players sin-binned. Late in the second half, Queensland nudged out in front with a penalty goal from Valentine Holmes, but a juggling act by Bradman Best, along with a late burst from Mitch Moses, put the result beyond doubt. It's the first time New South Wales has claimed a State of Origin series since 2021. AFL Chief Executive Andrew Dillon has defended the role of the match review officer and tribunal as players and coaches seek clarity over tackling rules. It comes as Brisbane and GWS launch appeals over lengthy suspensions handed to Charlie Cameron and Toby Bedford.
They're the tackles that have the football world in a frenzy. Charlie Cameron and Toby Bedford suspended for 3 games, a decision upheld at the tribunal and now under appeal, leaving coaches and players questioning what constitutes a dangerous tackle.
I was expecting when I first heard about those tackles to see a sling or a drive into the ground, and I didn't see that. Others may interpret it that way.
AFL boss Andrew Dillon says the health and safety of players is paramount and maintains players are adapting.
Last year we had 35 dangerous tackles graded by the MRO and the tribunal. As we sit here in more than 2/3 of the way through the season, we've got, including the 2 that are going to be appealed this week, only 11 tackles.
He denies the confusion and apparent inconsistency around decisions will drive away fans.
We've got an incredible game at the moment. We've got viewership higher than we've ever had. We've got crowds higher than we've ever had. We've got membership higher than it's ever been.
Meanwhile, the AFL has handed down its biggest ever ban for a homophobic slur, suspending St Kilda's Lance Collard for 6 weeks. Collard, who has played 3 AFL games, was cited while playing for Sandringham against Williamstown in the VFL.
Language of the type that has been used is it's not acceptable in any forum, let alone a footy field. And I think we will continue to sanction players, and we'll first of all educate players and then sanction players if they transgress.
Collard is the 3rd player to be suspended this season for using homophobic slurs, following Port Adelaide's Jeremy Finlayson and Gold Coast's Will Powell. North Melbourne coach Alistair Clarkson was fined $20,000 and received a suspended ban for the same offence. Tom Wildey, ABC News.
Taking a look around the country tomorrow in Brisbane, mostly sunny with a top of 20. In Sydney, partly cloudy and 19. Morning frost in Canberra, 11 degrees the top. In Melbourne, a shower or 2 and 12 also. For Hobart, a possible shower and 11. Adelaide, cloudy, a top of 14. In Perth, some rain, a top of 17. And in Darwin, sunny and a top of 28 degrees. And that's ABC Late News. I'm Craig Smart.